Sawokuyeto is with us in the studio, so let's have your view of how you appreciate the way things are going now, as far as inflation is concerned.
Well, thank you very much, Samson. Good morning to you, to the panel, and to all our distinguished viewers and listeners across the globe. Difficult times, isn't it? I mean, these are really, really tough times. As a member of parliament, anytime you go to the constituency, anytime you pick your phone, you just have no choice but to really feel for your constituents and feel for the people, people who not too long ago were very comfortable, you know, and will assist even with other social interventions that you are carrying out in your constituency. They are all reeling now, and savings have run dry. You have a situation where salaries no longer take people home. I mean, a friend was doing an analysis with me a few days ago about how the cost of fuel alone at the end of the month consumes the entire, you know, salary that he earns. And so he's even wondering if he shouldn't pack his vehicle. So everybody can feel the bite. And you look at the stats, and they are not getting any better. This is the worst inflation number in over 2 decades, we are told. And prices of goods and services are up. Everything is going up, except salaries. I was looking at some analysis that Metro TV did yesterday. I was on the set, and they were comparing Ghana with some 14 other countries, and our minimum wage is amongst the lowest. I think it was only Gambia and Ethiopia that had a better minimum wage than us. And yet we have the worst inflation, and yet our fuel prices are the highest, you know, on the continent. You know, so we are really in particularly excruciating times, and something must be done, particularly with the cost of fuel. The impression has been created that these are matters that are out of the hands of those who run the economy. I disagree. There are 3 factors when you look at the fuel pricing. You have the world market prices, right. Then you have the taxes and levies, and then the third component, it's the exchange rate. So the exchange rate is within our capacity. The managers of the economy who had professed some superior, you know, managerial abilities must bring that to bear and rein in the depreciating currency. Then you come to the taxes and levies, Samson. It's atrocious that we are keeping these 12 taxes and levies. And the last time we did an analysis in Parliament, it was amounting to almost 40% of the price buildup, what you pay at the pump. Energy debt recovery levy, road fund, energy fund levy, price stabilization recovery levy, sanitation and pollution levy, energy sector recovery levy, special petroleum tax, primary distribution margin, bust margin, fuel marking margin, marketers margin, dealers, retailers and operators margin. 12 taxes and levies, 40% of the price buildup. This is where something can be done. This week, we filed a question in Parliament. The Deputy Energy Minister re-echoed what the President told workers on May Day, that they are not in a position to do something about the taxes and levies. We disagree. We are appealing to government. And you see, it's about addressing the expenditure side of things. Government expenditure is still too high. I have been tracking these matters, as you know, in Parliament. And when you see the things that government is spending on, you see what government priority is. You see the size of government. Look, I was comparing President Mohammed's report to Parliament on his 2015 And that's the last report we received from President Mahama on his staffing situation at the office of the president. He had 5 ministers of state at Appendix A, Appendix B, list of presidential staffers. He had 26 at page 4. I can share them with you. So in all political appointees, he had 31, the record in Parliament. You compare with the current situation, the latest we have from President Akufo-Addo, political appointees, he has 337. So we've moved from 31 to 337. All of these have fiscal implications. So when people say that, oh, you know, how do you expect government to manage if you reduce the taxes? Already we have challenges with meeting government expenditure. Let's go into the expenditure. What are those items we are spending on? Are they necessary? Is that a priority? We'll be coming to the National Cathedral. At this time, should we be continuing with that? I have seen other projects in the budget. For example, I keep talking about the Accra International Conference Center. They want to raise it down, build a new one at 165 million euros. Only this week, they were asking for approval for more loans, about $1 billion, dollars, which we had to, stop in Parliament. So the expenditure side of things must be looked at. Then my final preliminary comment relates to the creative cushioning, social safety nets that we can provide. If you study what other countries are doing, yes, this is a global phenomenon, but countries that are exhibiting superior management of the economy, that are exhibiting more creative thinking, are cushioning their citizens. You go to Hungary, for example, they have creatively placed a cap on all staples, on fuel prices. It cannot go beyond a certain point. And they are subsidizing. You may call it price control. Yeah. But it's helping their people and it's cushioning their people. You go to the United Kingdom, they've identified the data is there, they've identified the vulnerable, and they are providing, cash grants to them, to households, between 500 to 2,000 pounds a week, supporting them. So there are examples all over the place about how governments are cushioning, their citizens. In Ghana, it does appear that it was just because the 2020 elections was ahead of us, so we found a way of doing the, free electricity, free water, and offering some food stamps here and there. Once the election was over, that's it. We just rather impose more taxes. So we should be looking at serious cushioning. And what is making this situation even worse is that all of the traditional safety nets that could have even helped ameliorate the plight of the people are all in arrears. LEAP is not really going. Government has not supported LEAP in a long time. You take NAPCO. NAPCO has not been paid for about 8 to 9 months now. So the traditional safety nets are all struggling. Health insurance is in crisis. It's owed over 2 billion cedis. So we have to be careful. You see, this is now an existential threat for this democracy. See what happened in Sri Lanka. The economic crisis we are faced with now has shown that if you do not manage the situation well and you don't step in and offer the people some reprieve, it can undermine your democratic stability, and the people can just rise up, say enough is enough, and just topple the leadership, and that's the end of your democracy. So yes, I see government all over the place about some terrorists coming from outside, some imminent threats and all of that. I think that they should rather pay attention to the current economic crisis, the excruciating hardships, the torture economically that the people are going through. It's just unsustainable. So government should look at the expenditure side of things, reduce expenditure drastically, cut down on all of these prestige projects. They can hold on, and let's channel our resources into cushioning the people. Okay. As for the taxes and levies, these 12 taxes and levies on the petroleum price buildup, there is absolutely no justification to keep them, in these really, really tough times. Okay.